Hey guys, so today we're going to be doing something a bit different. I'm going to be showing you 5 tips or things you can do to improve your mechanics and what I do to warm up before games or if I feel a little bit rusty. So number 1, do not play with cold hands. Now this sounds really dumb, but honestly you cannot play with cold hands and I promise you it will affect your performance. Now you won't really notice it to start with, but when it comes to make a split-second decision and react, you won't make it as fast as you normally do. Now obviously dealing with this is different from person to person, but I just pull my sleeves over my hands and rub them together until they feel warm. So number 2, practice your CSing. Now this is probably one of the most important aspects to the game, and the best way of improving is just by practicing. The way I do this is I go into a custom game, I choose a champion I'm likely to play after I'm done warming up, and then I try and hit perfect CS. Now I personally keep account of how many I miss each wave, and then I try to beat it the next wave. So if I miss 2 CS in the first wave, then I need to make sure that I only miss 1 or less in the next wave. Now in real games, it's going to be impossible to get perfect CS because you'll be fighting or you'll be away from the wave, and so you want to focus on getting every CS that it's possible to get. Now what I mean by this is that say if you're being zoned, 2 out of the 6 minions may die before they reach you, but that leaves 4 that do reach you, and so you need to get all of those 4. Now the main things you want to focus on when CSing are who your minions are attacking and the enemy minion's health. Now this will let you figure out which minion is going to die first, and it should let you hit every CS, but also don't be afraid to use low mana cost abilities to secure CS you'd otherwise miss. Now number 3, be comfortable attack moving. Now for those of you who don't know what this is, it's just issuing a movement command like usual, but instead you'll attack the first thing you encounter on the way. Now I personally do this by pressing A and then clicking as usual, but there are a bunch of different ways to set this up, and I will be doing an in-depth video about this soon. Now it is best to use this when you're being chased by someone, but remember that it's going to attack the closest target, so if minions are around you may end up attacking them instead of the enemy champion. Now there are 2 ways that I can really practice this. The first is just by CSing using attack move. Now this sounds really odd, but you can actually bring up the attack move cursor and click on a minion to attack that minion. Now this is exactly the same as clicking on the minion, but it gets you used to pressing A before you attack, and it's going to improve your attack moving too. So the second way is while you're practicing your CSing as well, and as a wave is moving towards you, you're just going to attack move backwards. This is why I'll usually just buy attack speed in my custom games. First off, it makes CSing harder, so you have to concentrate more, but it also makes attack moving easier to practice. So number 4, practice the flashes that most people fail. Now I picked the ones that are pretty tough around my lane, and this is more applicable to bot and top lane in my opinion. So the wall next to Tribrush is notorious for people failing their flashes, and so every time your flash is off cooldown, just go and flash it. Now you need to stand right next to the wall to pull it off, and by doing it over and over you're going to be less likely to panic in games when having to do it. So number 5, and last of all, is going to be practicing your mouse control. Now this can be done in League and outside, so I'll go over how I do it in a custom game first. So I put 2 wards either side of the Tribrush like you can see on screen, and then I click on either one of them in turn while making sure I don't leave the Tribrush itself. Now this forces you to move your mouse quickly between each ward and also improves your accuracy too if you're aiming for them. Now as you get more comfortable you can space the wards further apart and even add a 3rd ward down below as well. I don't actually do this too often because to be honest it's boring as hell, and there are loads of ways you can improve your mouse control that are a lot more fun. Now I can't really play you any footage of the games that I choose to improve my mouse control with because of YouTube's bullshit copyright stuff, but I'm going to list them on screen and I'll put links down below. Now Osu is my personal favourite on this list because it's pretty tough to play, it requires a lot of practice, but it's a lot of fun and it doesn't really feel like you're training when you're playing it. Okay, so bonus tip just for fun. Now dodging stuff with flashes is really important, and nothing is harder than the Malphite ult flash. Now grab a friend, go into a custom game, get level 6 and then let him ult you whenever he wants to. You know it could come at any second, but you don't know when, and that's the best way to act reactively. Obviously this does mean that you have to have a friend to practice it with, so I could never do it. But enjoy!